I am Jeff. And your guys, well, you're here. You're you, and we appreciate that very, very much. Off of the cap to you on a Libations Friday. Gonna do my part. Gonna do my part during the break.
Libations?
No, that'll be this evening. I'm gonna do my part to Bakeman 66 still laughing about Tom's reaction to my deep dive into the nightclub fire. And so we got a big response to that. That was a classic third hour.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. No, and a good one. I mean, I got a bunch of people who were like, yeah, keep doing it. Don't worry about Tom's fear. You jump on in there.
That's what it is. Yeah, don't worry about my sensibilities, my fear.
They're like, you get in there. You tell those crazy stories of death and destruction, dismay. You go on if it suits you. I did get a bunch of WTFs. Got a bunch of question marks like, hey, man, what was that? It was harkening back to yesteryear when it was commonplace. Yeah.
Every once in a while, something in the chat will get your attention. You know, I know that's happened to you a couple of times. And I see in the chat here, let's see, where did he go? Oh, good Lord. Awful radio. Yeah, in all caps, he says, why does the strength and conditioning coach get a pass, Tom? We are cream puff tough. Did I take a stance about us being strong enough?
I do like specifically he's mad at you, Tom.
FSU Seminoles 17. Is that Charlie?
No, I'm not going to describe the videos from the tsunamis, although I've seen many of them.
Oh, no, please.
Oh, you can find those everywhere, too. The tsunami videos are fantastic. Just because a lot of those, you're like, man, it's coming. You got to recognize it's time to get moving. Look at that wave. There you go. I knew it was coming, Mario. I'm sure the hapless villagers of Pompeii would have been honored to have Jeff recount the events that took their lives. They would have, TPE. They would have, and I have. On many occasions, hence the joke that's ongoing for you old school listeners like Mario.
If there was a PhD in horrible ways to die,
I got it. I've got it.
They would have to kick you out of the room for your dissertation. You'd have too much. Okay, all right. You are more than qualified, sir. Just you win.
Well, they would bring me in as an expert, and they'd have me talk to the class who were just getting started on their documentation of death and destruction. Hey, so Lee is on today. He'll join us in the second segment, and I think there's a chance. I disagree with some picks that Lee's going to have here today. I feel like that's entirely possible. You know how I know that? Because I recorded it. I already talked to Lee. And you'll hear that recording in the second segment of the show. We are also going to, of course, hear from my mother who, did she beat me last week? I believe so. Check on it. Now, recruiting coordinator Jeff is going to be busy in this first hour. I'm trying hard to grab us another one, guys. My role has been elevated thanks to your support. And because you guys have been excited about our successes over the years, once we've gone and dove down into the muck, we want another opportunity. So
it was a sweepy.
Yeah, I knew I lost.
So
who'd she have?
So she had the Chargers over the Falcons. That was a close one. It took the new pop gun arm.
Mm-hmm.
Then she had Steelers over Bengals, 44 points for Pittsburgh.
The effing Bengals are ridiculous. They drop 30 whatever on the Steelers and lose the game. Stupid asses.
Then she had Philly over Baltimore, which you didn't like your pick the moment that you logged.
As soon as I said it, I knew I was wrong. I knew Philadelphia was the better team. Damn it, man.
So she improves to +4. +4.
It's going to be a toughie. I really dropped the ball. I think I was distracted by Thanksgiving.
Well, it took a lot for Atlanta to lose that game.
Well, it was the dumbest thing in the world. They should have won the game.
Yeah.
But, it's what happens.
They really had to earn that loss to the Chargers last week.
This is a good suggestion. And, thank you, Easy Living. Thank you. Because I did. I knew I said it on the air. And he remembers because he heard it. Yesterday, when we were talking about last night's game, I'm like, well, first of all, take the over, which we hit on. We're 1-for-1 right out the gates. Secondly, I said, I think it feels like a 34-31 game. Vegas is telling you that it's 27-24. And I beg to differ. So you guys, you know what time it is. I probably was thinking about rhubarb pie last week when we made these bets. Hey, good. There you go, Troy. Won some pizza money on the lines. But here's the thing, though, Troy. I'm glad you just took them outright because if you're given 3.5, you lost. I didn't want to mess with the
winner.
I didn't want to mess with the winner last night. I said, let's just go with the over. This is going to be too easy. Detroit's got issues on defense with all the injuries. It's going to be their undoing. They'll lose in the playoffs because of those injuries. They're arguably the best team in football if they're not banged up, but it sucks they are, and that's the situation they're in. But they get the win. They get the win last night. They're going to end up with like a 15-1, 14-2 record, and they're going to end up losing in the playoffs to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about that in hour 3 because that's more of an NFL hour. But also, I will tell you that I feel good about the props this weekend. We'll be all right with all of that. Now, let's get back to FSU for a second. We're fighting for a guy that would be very important if we're able to get him. And I'm going to do my best when we go to commercial break to get it done. I've got to reach out to some of my people.
Yep.
I know these guys right here are working hard.
Your pecs?
Yeah, lifting us for
You're pushing us to freedom?
No, I'm trying to get the damn Battles In logo go on here, and I can't.
Nice shimmy.
I'm like,
give the people the shimmy.
There you go. I gave the people
the burlesque show.
Yeah, there you go. There's the shimmy. So there's where we're at. Wide receiver coach update and O-line coach. I think we may know O-line here real soon. As far as receiver coach goes, I don't know. And the reason I care has less to do with the teaching principles of said wide receiver coach, but rather the recruiting prowess. That's what I want to know. The fact that Seth, thank you, Seth, you went to a Creed concert, sweet Jesus. That is funny. Bowling tournament, let's go. Saturday, December 14th, 3 p.m., Capitol Lanes. That's 1 week from tomorrow. The time is nigh. Let's go. You got to get in. You got to get signed up. And let's get ready to roll. We got 20 ass lanes. We got 20
ass lanes.
Big ass lanes for you at Capitol Lanes. 20. That's a lot. So get in now. Tom has posted the information. If you're driving about, you email us with your team of 4. radio@warchant.com. That's radio@warchant.com. Sign up. You can say, hey, this is Felix. Me and my team of 4 about to whoop that ass. I'm signing up.
We call ourselves Felix and the Cats.
Hey, by the way, the point to make here is don't sign up if you can't make it. Don't do
that. Put a placeholder in. I think I might be able to.
No, we can't do that. You either can or you cannot. It's a Saturday at 3:00. It is a perfect time for us to get together and have a good time and for us to benefit the fine folks of the Guardian Ad Litem and the kids, most importantly, of the Guardian Ad Litem. So we're going to do that, and we're going to be robust in our help, both in gift cards and when we do a future show to raise money, and when we're there at the bowling alley consuming cold beer and wings and bowling, as you got to do. You can't go and bowl and not have beer and wings. It's kind of what you have to do.
100%. And this is the Saturday with the least amount of football between now and the end of the year. So we were thinking clearly when we did this. There's the bowl game to start, the Celebration Bowl, followed by, I think, one of the Armed Forces Bowls. That's Saturday. That's when the Capital One Bowl week really starts to get going. So it's a nice day to ease into it because the following weekends, you're getting closer to the holidays, and also NFL takes over Saturday. So this is a nice little window in here. Plus 3:00. is very well thought out. A lot of people can get a morning round of golf in, morning round of chores in, whatever you need to do. 3 is a nice time.
Saturday is good at 3 o'clock. You've done all you need to do, hopefully. I mean, you're not trying to burden yourself with a bunch of things on a Saturday. Don't let your wife do that to you. Now, you get done with your stuff early in the day, and then you say, listen, sweet cheeks, I'm taking it to the bowling alley. I may end up having too much to drink, so be by the phone so you can come pick me up. I'm going to bowl for the kids. We're going to do the right thing. It's going to be a good time. Or if you have a little self-control, just have a couple pops and then keep it together, and you turn that into a robust happy hour after the bowling's over. Maybe you take it to your watering hole of choice afterwards. You got the day started right. You did the right thing by a bunch of kids who desperately need our help. You'll feel good as you raise a glass in their honor and toast those kids.
Always do.
Toast those kids. It's the best thing we do. It's the greatest. It's this platform. It's the only time where I'm like, yes, we have this platform and we need to use it in a way that is, productive. Like normally we're just doing a show. It's fun to do. We would do it anyhow. It's the kind of conversation we'd be having anyhow. This is the time we're like, let's play radio and get people involved and do the right thing and get the message out there. It's awesome. And it's been my favorite thing over the years. And to watch people respond has been my favorite thing over the years. It will renew your hope in humanity, which on a day-to-day basis is usually lost by the end of the day. But on that day, you're reminded of the goodness. So if you can participate, the only requirement of you is that you're able to be there Saturday, 3 p.m., Capitol Lanes with your team of 4, and each of you, the members of your team, that is, bring either a gift card or 2 unwrapped new presents, preferably like for a boy or a girl, whatever you can afford, whatever you can do. Any kind of help is greatly appreciated. That's good. Mr. Wolf Strange, I'll answer this. I do think we have an opportunity to get some more recruits today. And when we go to commercial break, I'm going to do my part.
Which you'll need to send us to because somebody's using the computer over here. So hopefully you have the capacity.
I have the capacity. I've done this many times. Are you ready for me to do it?
You're ready. Whenever you want to cue it, DJ Cameron.
I can cue it. I'm going to cue it. Watch out. Here it comes. Jeff Cameron Show.
Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Sellers, are you stuck between wanting to sell your home and waiting for rates to fall? Are you worried about the contingency of having to sell your home? What if you didn't have to? With a 2-1 rate buy down, you can lock in a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of your mortgage and get the home you want now, all while having a higher chance to buy that next home with the contingency of selling yours. If you wait for rates to fall, you risk more competition, sellers less likely to wait, and paying more for that next property. If you're stuck, we need to talk. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. That's 954-369-6171. And don't forget, for every loan we close for our fellow Noles, I will personally donate $250 to the Battle's End.
Equal housing rent. NMLS number 373031.
Oh, whoa! Check out Pinch a Penny. We're stocked to the rafters with Hot Spring Spas, a recognized leader. Imagine the fun of the holidays with warmth, relaxation, and lovely bubbles. Oh, it's 30 home spas for you to see right now. Affordable right now, too. Up to $2,000 off. Or special financing. Ask for the details. Is the world stressing you out? Fight back. To assure these prices, Pinch a Penny, open 7 days a week on Career Road.
This announcement is brought to you by Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey.
If you're driving right now, you should know there's an 80% chance that the cars all around you don't carry any bodily injury insurance. Most people don't realize it, but in Florida, all the law requires is that drivers carry property damage insurance. This means that the texting teen drifting over into your lane or the drag racer on your rear bumper have no way of compensating you or your loved ones when they cause a crash. And this should scare the hell out of you. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect your family from this, and it's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's an absolute must, but a lot of insurance companies are convincing folks to drop it just to save a few dollars. Take it from the personal injury experts. Don't. At Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey, We've recovered millions of dollars in uninsured motorist coverage in crashes where our clients would have otherwise received nothing. So please, call your agent right now and make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. We hope you'll never need it, but we'll be here for you if you ever do. Fonville, Lewis, Messer McConaughey. Don't settle for less.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Science-backed, technology tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Doing my best, everybody.
Not enough time.
Yeah, that's what that's about. It's pretty funny that we both go there as soon as you hear the phrase not enough time. We both go to heat immediately in the conversation.
People say we are the Pacino De Niro of, sports talk radio.
I'm old enough to remember, first of all, when Heat came out in the theaters and I saw it in the theaters and all that. And I also remember like the level of excitement that we all had knowing that Pacino and De Niro were doing a scene together at a diner. We were like, oh, here it comes. We've all been waiting for years. Let's go.
And it delivered.
Oh, it did. It's great. And you like they're buddies in a different world. They even say that. In a different life, But in this one, if I feel the heat,
brother.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're making nobody else
a widow.
A widow.
Mm-hmm. The by the way, his new biography's out, and I'm halfway through it. It's good. It's really good.
Oh, Pacino's?
Yeah, it's really good. But it's nostalgic. It's sad almost. He knows he's at the end.
Yeah,
and it's happened suddenly, by the way.
Well, and he needs the cash. He needed the cash.
Somewhat, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he was let down by some things.
Oh, he was stolen from.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Pretty brutal. But
don't you think if you do enough of those movies and you're a legend in the community that you might be able to get some pushers to make things right for you?
I would think. Yes.
It's Pacino. Al's asking. Al is asking.
Yeah.
Can you make it right?
Yeah, I would think so. All right. Here's my hope. As I get updates and I'm trying to wrangle us just one more. Well,
how do you feel about Jesse Harold at 4:00 with LSU? Former LSU commit.
I'm
bad news for RC. Bad news.
No. I'm getting information. I feel pretty good about one of these guys right now, but I'm doing everything I can.
Seems the
it's
consensus.
In the midst of the radio show.
Yeah. Seems, Harold, people feel good about.
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel pretty good in general, Tom.
Whoop.
I feel like today could be a good day.
Really?
But I'm not. There's a lot of work to be done.
Haywood, the tackle.
Don't know. I didn't say anybody's name. I'm just letting you know that it's a delicate situation. We're working hard. I'm doing all that I can at this point. But, I'm contracted to do this show both for 93.3 FM,
Jeremiah Smith transferring,
as
right?
well as Warchant. And I own my own show, so I'm doing it for me too. So it's all these things.
Jeremiah Smith transfer portal?
Got to do these things, doing everything I can at this point to get things done. So we'll see.
You had a Presidente with Jeremiah Smith, didn't you?
I did not. I'm actually getting updates as we speak. And I'm not even kidding about that. I'm going to do my best right here. I've got to put the phone down. Put the phone down, Jeff. You can't. I'm going to be up here like Schefter.
Well, you're serving the people. That's all.
I'm trying.
I can tell people about the Eastern Conference standings in the NHL while you work the phone. I'm happy to.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Here's what we do have to do. As far as the announcement on the timeline on the offensive line and wide receiver coach, so Tom, I'm going to tell you, I feel pretty good, but I can't, again, I'm working hard. I feel pretty good about the first guy we asked about.
Okay. Well, that guy would be potentially.
I'm talking about the last segment when you asked me. I reached out.
Yeah, that's an hour from now, that particular guy. So you recruit nicks out there know who we're talking about.
Feel pretty good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The hay is in the wood.
We're hoping. We are doing what we can. We are trying to get things done out here.
I'm talking about Lee, though. I'm going to stop messing with people. They're going to start running to the boards. They said Haywood. No. Lee is 2:30 p.m.
I'm going to let it simmer. When we go to our segment with Lee Sterling about Paramount Sports, I believe I will have a greater opportunity to have an influence in a positive manner. And at that point,
we can roll Lee right now if you'd like.
We may have to. We may have to do so. Hey, look, this is the way it goes. The question was about the offensive line coach and the wide receiver coach. I will defer to you on that. I've been too busy talking to kids. And this is not my cup of tea. I'll be happy when this time of year is over. But what do we feel like? FSU's slow. Like those hires have probably already been made. And they just roll them out a little slow. Now we know Knighton is officially in. We got the press release already.
Yeah, we had pot roast for breakfast today.
Pot roast is in the fold. We know about Coach White in the fold as DC. We know about Gus Malzahn in the fold officially as offensive coordinator. As far as the rest go, it's interesting. You want to maximize exposure for these hires if you're proud of them and you're excited by them. Sometimes it's weird on a Friday, Tom. If we get past a certain time, I think they'll push to Monday. Past a certain time in the day, they even if they got it, they'll be like, let's just push till Monday. Because
I think the next round of announcements from Florida State beyond if they got somebody would also be when the press conferences are for the new coordinators. And that's going to be another release. So there's a lot of stuff that they can be sending out our way. And hopefully they've got a couple new signee reports today. They have to give you the height, the weight, the bio, all that kind of stuff. So they're going to be plenty busy over there, even if they want to hold off on announcing a new assistant coach. They got plenty of other things that they can be sending out.
I got to be honest with you. You know what I'm concentrating on besides the other stuff that we were just talking about? I'm concentrating on Arkansas's starting left guard, Patrick Kudus, and the fact that he's entered the portal. He's really effing good. And 6'5", 313 that can move. We talked about a run-first basis for Gus and what he's going to try to implement and the importance of good guard play. I mean, anybody? Are we getting to work out here? I mean, there's a kid right off the bat who has performed at a high level in the SEC. When he came out as a prospect, he was a 4-star. He was a top 250 nationally player. In the portal, he'll be one of the great big gets right there. Whoever gets him, that is a big get. It's hard to get accomplished, well thought of, proven offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's going to take an investment.
Now, remember this, Tom.
Buy bricks?
You are correct. It takes an investment. We need your help. The battle's in. But he chose Arkansas over Florida State, chose Arkansas over Texas A&M, He chose Arkansas over Oregon. My fear is we're battling Oregon. I sure hope we're not.
Hopefully they're distracted.
They got big games to play.
That's right.
They have unlimited funds.
And they just signed one hell of a class.
Yeah, of course they did. And they're going to continue to do it. They are set up nicely. The little school in the Pacific Northwest that could is now a behemoth thanks to Phil Knight and the modern shift in college football and what it takes to win. But it does buoy me that this young man, yet again, was a guy that, Florida State went after. We're working hard over here. We may have some opportunities, Tom. This is Lee Sterling and me talking earlier in the day.
Do you know? His name's Lee.
There we go. It is indeed Libations Friday, which is a glorious thing because we get to talk with our man Lee Sterling on Libations Friday. Paramount Sports, he's been on a huge roll this year. He's always good, but he's been really good this year, and he joins us now on the Jeff Cameron Show. We were off last week, so it's good to get back in the saddle here and do this. We got conference championship games, Lee, and it's going to be a fun time. I love this weekend, actually, because of how many competitive games starting tonight. That we have. And let's go through the slate that you have for us, buddy. Right off the bat. Now, can I guess? Because I'm going to guess. Okay. You and I know each other so well. I know you as a person, and we're friends. And I know you as a gambler, and I know you as an odds maker. I know you as all these things. Yep. Here's my thought. You're going to take Penn State, aren't you? Over Oregon. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Can I tell you why I think that?
Okay.
All right. So I had it in my head, my talking points were that Oregon should kill Penn State.
Right.
And then I started thinking about some things, and partly something you've said before. And we've noticed that this year when teams in the Big Ten have to travel, and I said, I bet you Lee is going to come up probably with a multitude of angles, but is that one of your angles?
That's one of my three biggest angles.
There it is.
So, another one is common opponents.
Okay.
Wisconsin, Maryland, Washington, and Purdue.
Okay.
So Penn State had a better margin of victory, those games. So third, I don't know if people realize this, except for passing offense, Penn State had a better run offense, a better run defense, and better pass defense. Do I think they're better? No. Partially a little bit is they played an easier schedule than Oregon. But traveling those 2 or 3 time zones, you travel 2 or more time zones in the Big Ten, you're only hitting 35%. Also, I think these Penn State kids, I don't even know if all of them were even watching the game last week against Ohio State and Michigan. There had to be a bunch of them running errands, doing something, figure, hey, I'll watch it after halftime or I'll tape it and watch it. And then all of a sudden they tune in or they get the word that Michigan won the game. And they're thinking, oh, I was going to go home. I was going to go away with my girlfriend. Now they get to play in the Big Ten championship game. They were going to be seeded 5th or 6th without it.
Yeah.
They'll still be seeded 5th or 6th, even if they lose this game by single digits. I think they're playing with house money here, Jeff. I know James Franklin. I've been going against some big games, 1-16 straight up.
Yeah.
And 5-12 against top 5 opponents, but they're playing with house money. They have nothing to lose here.
All right, he's taking Penn State plus the 3.5. He's got him winning outright, I guess. All right,
which way are you going on this game?
You've caused me to pause, Lee. You've caused me to pause. I had Oregon all week long because of the James Franklin factor.
Yeah.
I just can't ever trust James Franklin. I mean, ever. Right. If it's a big game at all, I'm not picking.
He's right there with Mario Cristobal in big games, and he has a long. If the bar is set really low, like at our ankles.
Yeah. There are two coaches I say that about, and you just named them both. If it's a remotely big game, run the other way from Coach Cristobal and Coach Franklin, buddy, over and over again. But I don't, you've got me thinking a little bit about this. Hey, have you thought about this, Lee? And we'll get to Texas and Georgia here in a second. In a weird way, I know it's an extra game, but it behooves Oregon to lose the game, because if you think about the matchups, if you're the 5, for example, you would get to face the Mountain West winner and the Big 12 winner.
Right.
As opposed to the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee.
Maybe it has something to play in there. So
you see what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go.
First game's at home, too.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well lose the game.
Right. They got a lot of tweaking to do. Also, the line should be 1.5, not 3.5.
Yeah, so you were shocked by that number, huh?
I think it's 2 points just based on the James Franklin whole deal. I think the Ducks are out of water.
Okay, I like it.
27-23 Penn State.
Texas minus 2.5 against Georgia. We all saw the first matchup in which the good version of Georgia showed up and absolutely manhandled Texas. Is that a case of it's a weird one-off? We've seen it all throughout this year in college football where you get weird results and weird games and not what you thought? Or is it that Georgia's physically superior? Because I don't think it's that. So I'm kind of curious, where are you going on this one?
So I think it was a strange – now, I did have Georgia, so I predicted that they were going to come into Texas. But I do think that if you watch Texas now, you watch that Texas A&M game, they should have won that game 27-34-0, dominated. Yeah. If they had won, let's say 30-0, this line would be 5.5, 6, Texas. The only advantage that Georgia has, in my opinion, the game is pretty much like a home game being played in Atlanta. They don't rank in the top 25 in offense or defense in any major statistical category.
Georgia Tech had them beat, Lee.
I know. They should have won the game up
in Athens.
14 points, 3+ minutes to go. They blew it. So I think Arch Manning will have an expanded role here. I think you'll see some new wrinkles from Texas there. I think Quinn Ewers not 100%. I think Arch Manning might even play 20-25% of the game.
Oh, wow.
And we know Georgia has trouble with mobile quarterbacks. Favorite 25-6 straight up SEC championship games here. I think Texas exacts that revenge here, 31-21. This is my strongest game of all 4.
I had a suspicion. So far I'd be 2 for 2 on your guesses here. I'm really curious here, and I my guess is that you're not going to take Clemson, but I am going to take Clemson. I just think they have more of the good players. But obviously, with what Rhett Lashley has done, in particular with what they've done at quarterback, I get why SMU might be the pick here, but I keep betting on Clemson. They're going to probably let me down. I'm taking Clemson here. Who do you got? SMU is favored, by the way, for those out there wondering. It's 2.5.
You have a backup plan for Christmas gifts for the kids if things don't go well? All right. So here's why I'm picking SMU. People don't even know who Kevin Jennings is. He was the backup. The only reason he's starting is Preston Stone had the yips.
He sucked.
He couldn't, like a pitcher or a second or third baseman can't throw the ball to first baseman. He couldn't throw the ball 10 yards. I mean, they're not talking about it. He just lost it. And so Kevin Jennings comes in. Not only does he win 9 straight games for him as a starter, put up between 28 and 66 points in every game, averaged 9.3 yards per pass attempt. What did Cade Klubnik do? Well, and down the stretch against Pitt, Virginia Tech, Louisville, and South Carolina, 4 average to above average teams, only threw for 6 yards per pass attempt. Where would that put him if you spread that out through the entire season? Well, it would be bottom 15 with teams like Rice, Sam Houston State, and UConn. The defense for SMU, I think, is better, believe it or not. They don't have the names. They don't have the 5 stars. In fact, SMU has 6 starters from Miami.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a couple of studs from Miami, yeah.
3 of the top 4 guys on the defensive line, starters for them, were at Miami, and not seeing very little playing times here. So they've only given up 13 points combined last 2 games here against Virginia and Cal. Right team's favorite, SMU 28-24.
Fun football game. By the way, not to be an ass, but Canes could have used some of those SMU starters.
I think it's more coaching and putting guys
Really?
in the situation. So when I was looking at Mario, when it came time to go for it or kick the field goal, which he did, I mean, you look at him and you're thinking, I mean, is there just nothing up there? I mean, I know the card says to kick the field goal.
He went with analytics. But Here's the thing. You and I are watching the game. Mario, watch the game.
Your defense can't stop anyone.
They're not going to get a stop, Mario. Put the game in the hands of your best player.
There you go.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He'll never get it.
No.
All right. My Bucks are going to do the same. I'm saying this out loud because I want to manifest it.
Okay.
My Bucks are going to do exactly what they did a year ago, which is come back from the dead and win the division. They're playing good football. They're terrible on defense, but their offense is very good. And Cohen's one of the best OCs in football. Baker's good when he has to be. They can run the ball. Bucky's good. We're giving 6.5 to the Raiders, who suck. Do we cover?
The Raiders are going to make some wholesale changes. I think that's why Tom Brady came in. I think he's going to be the guy deciding pretty much who the next coach is going to be. They got injuries. They got guys packing their bags here. They got guys that are playing that shouldn't even be playing. I know Tampa Bay's pass defense ranked number 30th, but they can run the football, and I could see them making a run here and winning the division. I like Tampa Bay here, 27-17.
Oh, you're 100% right about that decision in Las Vegas. And you know where he's going to go. He's going to take your boy from the Titans who was fired and bring him right. That's the first thing he's going to do.
What did you think about Bill Belichick interviewing at North Carolina?
I thought it was crazy. But I kind of love it because I think Bill is an interesting person.
Right.
He is 72 years old, dating a 24-year-old girl who could be at North Carolina graduating this weekend.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy to think about what's going on there.
So I'm going to throw something. I'm going to throw something in. That you may not know. Did you know Bill Belichick's girlfriend dated Caleb Williams?
No.
Before Bill. So look it up. I found it on.
Wow.
I just happened to be scrolling through TikTok. I don't scroll through TikTok very often. So there's a video out on it. So look that up.
That's crazy.
There's one reason why he's not going to Chicago. Can you imagine?
That is crazy. And by the way, that wouldn't be a terrible hire for Chicago. Belichick, by the way, is there any way Jerry Jones would let that happen? Would he bring him in, or does he have to constantly have the final say? Because Belichick wouldn't let him do it.
Right.
That wouldn't be a bad hire for Dallas.
I don't see him going. I don't see him going either place. I think Chicago's going to go with an offensive mind there. Ben Johnson would be great. The only thing is, does Ben Johnson want to go up against Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota?
Well, yeah.
Division? That's a monster. But there's talent in Chicago.
The Bears have a lot of talent. That's not a bad roster.
They're the best 4-8 team by far in the NFL. So
your free play of the day for folks that want to get it, you can tell them how it's a good game. It's a must-win for Atlanta. I've never seen Kirk Cousins. I get it. He can be up and down in his career. I've never seen him play this poorly. He looks like a bum. He looks shot. It's bizarre to watch. But anyhow, that game, Minnesota -5 versus Atlanta. How can folks get it, Lee?
Yep. So I think what happened is last week, I think he had a dead arm.
He looks like it.
I think he had a dead arm. His Achilles, he's moving okay. So I think he overcame that after a couple weeks. I think he had a dead arm. They should not have played him, but they did. We'll see if he gets over it. Traveling. I love my wife when she's watching games. She's like, last week, I feel sorry for Kirk Cousins. I'm like, don't ever feel sorry for
more money than God. He's got.
You know what he made in Minnesota in the 4 years?
It's insane. 100 million, 150 million,
$186 million.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel sorry for any of these quarterbacks that get second contracts. So good. I mean, hey, we had some Jerry Jeudy. We had his return, Cleveland, when they returned against his old team, Denver. Had Geno Smith last week. So we'll see if the third time's a charm here. You want to get that game for free? 800-400-9741. First 10 callers, we're going to give them that game for free. I love one side here. And you want to hop on board since Thanksgiving Day. We're on a 16-3 run. How about this? We call it Double Down December. Use coupon code SAVE200, just $247 through December 31st. That's 4 weeks of action. Use coupon code SAVE200. Also, you want to get through the Super Bowl. You hear about these, Cyber Monday and all these other sales going on. Use coupon code SAVE300 and get every game I've got through the Super Bowl in college football and the NFL. And also that goes through the Super Bowl. Just $347 with coupon code SAVE300 and also a UFC card.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view. 5 to 6 selections there, including a rare 50-unit max wager. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Always a pleasure, Lee. Enjoy the weekend. Should be fun starting tonight. Take care, buddy.
All right, and next week, going to take off. No,
Okay.
just NFL. Come back in 2 weeks, and we'll do the college football, the 4 championship games, and the stinky Florida and Miami bowl games.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. I look forward to enjoy that week off, buddy. Be good.
Take care.
All right, take care. That's Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Joins us every Friday, Libations Friday. He'll take a week off and then join us again. His plays again, we'll take a look at him when we come back, but really quickly, Oregon, he's got losing to Penn State. He's got Texas avenging the loss to Georgia. He's got SMU beating Clemson, which the committee would love. He's got Tampa Bay to beat the Raiders, my Buckaroos, and then the free play, if you wanted to get it, 800-400-9741. That's Minnesota -5 versus Atlanta. Don't know who he has in that game, but I think he's probably leaning Atlanta. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
News now.
Due to night temperatures potentially dropping below 35 degrees again tonight, overnight cold weather shelters will be available. Anyone in need of sheltering is encouraged to go to any of the following locations. Single adults can go to the Kearney Center. Families that consist of at least one adult and one child can go to Hope Community. And youth under the age of 17 can seek shelter at 2407 Roberts Avenue. Intake will take place between 4 to 8 p.m. A Tallahassee man, Carl Denson, will spend the rest of his life behind bars after he was found guilty of shooting and killing a man in a Tallahassee park in 2021. The shooting happened nearly 3 years ago at Carter Howell Strong Park. The incident was caught on camera, which saw Denson riding a bike behind the victim, Jimmy Lunsford, who was sitting on a park bench, and shooting him in the back of the head as he rode past. He confessed to shooting Lunsford as retaliation for the victim stealing from him in the past. This is Rachel and A with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 54. Northerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, 35. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, highs around 59. Daytime highs approaching 67 Sunday under mainly clear sky. 73 Monday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 52 degrees.
Time to head out on our annual guys fishing trip. Wait, where's Jimmy?
He just texted me saying he has to swing by his storage unit to get a couple of things. And now there's a truck blocking him in, and he won't be here for another hour.
That wouldn't have happened if he had just called Southeast Portable Buildings and got a unit right on his property.
I love mine. I have so much more space in my garage. Now I can finally park my truck in there.
Give them a call today, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400. Or visit them online for all their options at southeastportablebuildings.com.
There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. You two at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean? There was
Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Jeff.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Florida's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It was getting hot. I had to go back to the bald, baby. I was getting warm in here.
Toasty.
Yeah.
It's that fire behind you.
If you're not careful, I'm going to get back into the fire stories today. But alas, that's the only one I have. Oh, we've got offerings.
You mentioned Seth, but we didn't wipe him up on the screen.
Thanks, Seth. Happy Libations Friday. Go Knowles. Had a few at the Creed concert last night. Here's a little extra support for RCJC. During that Lee Sterling interview, which I recorded this morning, got after it and attempted to find some more information. I will tell you, let me pull it out here and get the Hey, he's pulling out the phone here. Hey.
Kids show.
Yeah.
It is not.
No, definitely not. Anyhow, guys, here's how I'll word this. I think we're going to be all right. I think we've got some things working. That is, listen, nothing's done yet. I'm warning you that nothing's done yet, but I do think we're getting closer to maybe more good news today. Can I phrase it that way and be safe? I think so. Joe, appreciate you, man. It is a Libations Friday, isn't it? Everybody's laid back. Love it. Joe writes, poor Tom. I've never seen him look so uncomfortable yesterday. Laugh out loud. Jeff's idea of a good time in the 90s was stopping to get a pizza and then going to an indie video store to rent Faces of Death. I don't revel in that stuff. By the way, it turned out most of, if not almost all of the stuff in Faces of Death turned out to be fake.
Joe, I can tell you I've been far more uncomfortable on these airwaves before.
Tom's been more Tom and I are dear friends, and we do a lot together off the air. We hang out and do a lot of things together over the years. Tom has heard crazy things come out of my mouth.
And sometimes we're in public, and I say, hey.
Yeah, but there have been things that made you laugh, but you're still uncomfortable. Sure. You're like, that's ridiculous and funny and
they're
absurd.
Not something that would get you, quote, canceled.
No. I'm not saying terribly.
Audience.
No.
There are people.
Sir, there are other people in the room.
I mean, dude.
Yeah.
We did have, you can't make this stuff up. A prize winner came through the studio yesterday just after the segment, and it was the prize winner and family. And the prize winner communicated to Jeff during the break. We were just listening to the show, and it was right after that segment.
He had kids with him. He had little kids with him. I was like, oh, no, I don't.
You said, I hope you didn't listen to the last segment.
I did. I said, I hope you weren't looking at that. You weren't listening to that last segment.
To which he said no earlier in the day.
Yeah, he said, no, I missed the last segment. I was like,
good. There were some little ones. That would have been rough.
Well, they would have just learned
what it's like to stare at freedom outside of a threshold of a door, not be able to achieve it. Yeah.
Well, they would have learned that if you're not careful, it can all go south. You got to be paying attention at all times.
And that's why, kids, we don't go to concerts in this film.
My buddy who goes to concerts in small venues all the time was listening to the segment. He's like, hey, man, I remember when that happened. I've been to 1 million concerts in small venues. I never stray far from the exit. I'm like, see? He knows. They're death traps.
Well, you're right about concerts, too. There's the one that we've been to out in Miramar Beach. Outstanding venue for a concert.
It's awesome.
They have several events out there. But you see the condos in the distance, and I think, Vegas, what happened out there?
Whoa.
You're always thinking, and that's the world we live in. You go to a movie, if the movie's longer than an hour and a half, you're like, okay. The exit I would go to is
that's the tragedy of the modern era we live in. You can't go into a supermarket, a school, a movie theater, a concert venue without quickly locating and orienting the exits. That's what you do. You walk in and you go, yep, okay, there. I'm quick here. Oh, it's just like getting on a plane. You're like, I'll whoop that guy's ass right there if he's got a problem. What about that? Oh, this guy's with me. We're good here. Yeah. That's what we do. It's what happens.
Actually, a fairly good short story about being on a plane, terrible turbulence going down to JFK in March. Never fly to New York in March or April. Just don't.
I do.
So we're coming in. It's a bad one. It's so bad that the flight attendants are having a tough time. In fact, once we landed, the flight attendant went into the bathroom and never came back out.
Threw up.
I think they were either that or having a breakdown because there was.
You can't be a flight attendant if turbulence is going to turn you.
It was that bad. And thankfully, I was sitting next to a naval vet who had
seen some
things,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a diver as well. Awesome guy to talk to. And as we're going,
that's amazing.
We're going through it, and I'm just next to this guy. I said, "I'm sure you've been through worse," and he goes, "Easily, not that big of a deal."
Oh, that made you feel good.
And I felt strength.
Oh yeah,
I felt strength.
Well, we've said it before. If you're on a plane that is starting to get shaky, above and beyond what's reasonable to you, just look at the flight attendants. They'll let you know because that's all they do all day.
Yep. This one, I think, quit after that flight.
Hey, hour number 2 forthcoming. Cross your fingers. It's a big hour. We may have some news next hour. We will continue to update you as this happens. Let's hope that Florida State's run of good fortune and remarkable efforts to salvage a not just passable class after a 2-10 season, but rather, like a legitimately pretty good class is how you would describe this. It's still underway. It's still happening. The numbers are still growing. And between the signing day class, and then what's going to transpire with the exits and the welcoming in of more portal players is going to make for a phenomenal week next week. A busy one for you and I, but a phenomenal week as folks can enter the portal Sunday night at midnight.
Then you secure visits on campus, and there we go.
And then it starts. So it's a busy time. We're hanging in there, everybody. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with me.
Every journey starts with a first step, a daring step. But what they don't say about first steps is that you have to keep going, taking step after step, and eventually you take a big leap, accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. After 57 years, Tallahassee Community College is soaring even higher, and we're now officially Tallahassee State College. We invite you to take a step and visit Tallahassee State College. Learn more at tsc.fl.edu.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Investors, are you looking for a creative way to purchase your next rental property? Are you looking to get into the Airbnb space? If so, you need to know about DSCR loans. It stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. These are loans that do not require traditional income verification. As long as the proposed rent covers the mortgage payment on the subject property, that's the only income you need. If you're looking at investing and don't know if you can qualify, let's set up a plan to get your next income producing property and start putting you on a path to passive income. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. And don't forget, every fellow Knoll that we close a loan for, I will personally make a donation of $250 to the Battle's End. It's Shannon Young at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing limited. NMLS number 373033.
Ain't nothing but a G-Pod, baby.
I am 99% sure that is not how the lyrics go.
Well, you like remixes, right?
Of course.
Well, think of this as a Grassroots Coffee remix per se, because Grassroots Coffee is now in the single-serve coffee pod game.
Dude, those single-serve coffee pods and cups are weak sauce.
Not Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. They have more coffee in them than regular single-serve pods and cups.
Seriously?
And not only do they have more coffee, they have a built-in filter for better brewing. They fit in most Keurig machines, and they are fully compostable.
It's still the small batch, slow roasted coffee you love, so go to grassrootscoffee.com and get your box of G-Pods today.
Baby!
See?
Remix! Well, actually, that's more of an homage.
Grassroots Coffee, locally owned, locally roasted, and made for everyone, loved everywhere.
Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. So very good.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. Kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Right in Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee.
Florida State football has officially announced Tony White as the next defensive coordinator. He comes over from Nebraska. This had previously been reported. Also, Odell Hagen's role with the football staff is going to change as well. He has been the associate head coach and defensive tackles coach since 2014. He will remain the associate head coach while taking a new role focusing on impacting the entire program. Florida State basketball, they get back at it tomorrow when they are going to match up against NC State. Florida basketball, they are not going to play again until December 14th. That's next weekend when they match up against Arizona State in Atlanta. This Sports Flash is brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun, and Gold, more than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Ever find holiday shopping overwhelming? We've got to figure out what they want and then find it all too. Enter Kohl's. They have the best gifts all in one spot. The toys your kids have been asking for, the silk PJs she's been eyeing, and the stylish sweater he'll love. And you can get 20% off some of your gifts during their customer appreciation event. Yep, holiday shopping at Kohl's is the move. Select styles, offers on December 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to toys. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
The 90s called. They said the Gordita Supreme is so back in the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's all looking fresh to death with the pillowy 90s Gordita Supreme alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stacked taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and medium drink. All for just $7. It's your wallet's favorite cheesy crunchy combo here for a limited time. Grab yours and relive the decades only at Taco Bell. Participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last. Contact store for price and participation with various drinks and speed.
To head out on our annual guys fishing trip. Wait, where's Jimmy?
He just texted me saying he has to swing by his storage unit to get a couple of things. And now there's a truck blocking him in, and he won't be here for another hour.
That wouldn't have happened if he had just called Southeast Portable Buildings and got a unit right on his property.
I love mine. I have so much more space in my garage. Now I can finally park my truck in there.
Give them a call today, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400. Or visit them online for all their options at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachia Parkway. Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
could be fruitful edition of the Jeff Cameron Show as we wait for more news to add to the class. We're also waiting, and a lot of you are impatiently doing so. I get it. As you hear the announcements of coaches coming in, for example, Terrence Knighton now officially joining Florida State's coaching staff as the defensive line coach. It was a great day yesterday to be able to celebrate Odell Haggins in the wake of this announcement. And, I was happy about that. Happy that he's excited about the role that he's taking on with Florida State that obviously gives him a little bit more time as well. So that's good news. The other good news of yesterday was that Randy Shannon was leaving the staff. Nice. Take it on down the road, Randy. Go fail somewhere else. And then from there, I would say that I was not all that surprised to learn that Jackson West has entered the transfer portal for Florida State.
Damn it.
Unfulfilled promise, I'd say. I remember the first week we saw Jackson West. And he looked like Jackson West now, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And Jackson, rightfully, was a tough guy and immediately started a fight the first day of pads. And I remember thinking, well, I like that. I like to see Jackson West getting into a fight early on. I thought it was going to portend of a certain kind of toughness that would be filtered on into his blocking and the position itself. Never happened because he could never stay healthy. And when he was, he didn't get a lot of run to speak of there. That's just another whiff. Just another whiff. Not ripping the kid. Wish him well. Got no problem with Jackson West. Just didn't work out here. Evaluation's got to get better. They got to do better in recruiting in terms of the clay they develop, that they bring in and work with. And they got to get better at evaluating the talent that they choose to offer. Let's put it that way. They got to do it.
The one thing that was always confusing about going to the portal as much as we did is at what point do you realize that you're missing on, kids? Because at some point, isn't there in a coach's meeting why do we need help here?
Yeah, why do we keep having to go back here? Yeah.
Do we have anybody that we like?
I'm going to tell you that I think that was probably one of the things that was masked by the 13-0 season. Is that, it's a shame he hasn't really been able to develop a quarterback. It's a shame we don't have anybody waiting in the wings to be your next starting center. We keep rolling Maurice out here. Guy's 62 years old and banged up, starting again this Saturday. We continued to look at a lot of positions and said, where's the heir apparent there? And we didn't feel good about it. But they were winning games. They just kept winning games. And so while very quietly behind the scenes, I think there were a lot of diehard supporters of Florida State, as well as analysts and those of us in this business saying, they do seem to have a problem with finding the next up-and-coming prep star. They got no real. They're doing a great job in the portal, but they're having a hard time in the prep ranks. We lamented that, but what were you going to do? Belabor that point while they won their 9th in a row, 10th in a row, 11th in a row? Well, you really wouldn't do that. You could bring it up, you could say it in passing, and then you moved it along.
I see a question from Zyler saying, Otto at center. Well, you're going to have to get that new offensive line coach in here to take a look. A new set of eyes is going to tell you a bunch of different things that you don't expect, and maybe some things that you did expect are going to happen. But Otto is athletic enough to play in a lot of positions. He had his feet to the fire this year. There we go again.
Yeah, you're going to make me bring up another segment. It's interesting. I got asked this question probably 15 times. Yesterday, we've already been asked in the first hour and 9 minutes of today's show, at least 7 or 8 posts, what gives with the offensive line coach? And I'm not able to answer that in a definitive manner because I originally, and I said this before, I thought for sure it was going to be Herb Hand. I thought he'd be coming in with Gus Malzahn. Herb has coached in the SEC, he coached in the Big Ten. He's got a track record in big-time college coaching that spans a long way back. And I would have been fine with that hire. But the fact that it's taken this long suggests to me that it's not going to be Herb Hand. And then you want to know, okay, well then fine. Who's it going to be? Well, the problem is if it's a guy that is currently getting ready to coach a playoff game, you're just not going to get that announcement. So I don't know if it is, but I'm left to deduce from context clues that it probably is, or an NFL guy. But either way, you're kind of like, well, what's he to do? He can't make that announcement if the guy is going to be out there coaching in the playoff.
Well, without the portal, this is not that big of a deal. Because you could say, well, the window's closed. We'll get back at it in February. Kids can't visit till January anyway. No big deal. But it is a big deal with the portal. Portal's open this weekend. And just like Solomon Thomas wanted to know who's it going to be, I'm sure if we host offensive linemen on campus, yes, they'll be very interested in the NIL inducement package. I know you can't use that word, but they'll be very interested in what their NIL can yield for them. They want to know who's going to coach them. This is their last crack. By definition, kids coming out of the portal trying to get to Tallahassee or wherever they go, they understand, here's my best chance to maximize my value, either in college or for the next level, or both. So, yeah, I would like to have an answer sooner than later because we need portal offensive linemen in the worst way. More than we needed Solomon Thomas. We need portal offensive linemen.
It's the predicament you get into when you're having to make changes at the end of a season like this, given the calendar being the way it is now. Now, listen, this is not set up in any way that makes any sense. I mean, you're going into conference championship weekend, and you've got the portal opening up, and you just had signing day this week as you enter conference championship weekend. That's stupid. They should not do that. They ought not have this set up that way. But what about college football makes any sense? And this is kind of the era we're in right now. I'd sure like somebody with a level head and common sense to say, well, this is dumb. Why would we do this? But it is what it is, and I hate that phrase because it's overused, but in this case, it's true. I mean, you're going to be in a bind.
Yeah, I think what you can move out of this point of the year is high school recruiting. But the portal, if you want kids to early enroll and get ready for spring semester and spring ball, like they kind of have to declare their intentions right here, right now. You don't have to have this with the preps, though. You don't have to use those hours for preps. You could instead say between Game 12 and Conference Championship Week is a portal opening period of time. Season's over, and obviously there'll be portal exceptions for playoff teams. But this is the time to go do that, and let's move high school kids somewhere the hell else, please.
You're going to have a problem, though. I'd push back on the portal thing in this sense. Like, I don't want any kid that's really, playing for something, anything, to have to come out in the middle of a playoff or a bowl game or something and say, hey, I'm out of here.
Then you would have to get a unilateral academic waiver for the kids that they could.
Yeah.
I mean, basically third, fourth week of their semester in some cases, they could enroll in classes. That's where it gets difficult. Or they can at least participate in spring camp before they take classes in school. That's what you're working around is the beginning of the semester. I know that last year it burned Florida State that their semester started early relative to Miami.
Yeah, because the Cam Ward situation, yeah.
Yeah, he had more time to think about his NFL prospects and then dial it back to Miami.
Man, you're talking about whether or not a guy we bring in is going to class. That ship sailed years ago. This is professional football. Stop talking about that nonsense.
Agree with you. Well,
come on.
I mean, you don't hear student athlete as much anymore, do you?
No.
And I'd prefer you just heard athlete. You wear our polos, get paid, and if you stink, we're going to take that polo back.
We're going to take the money back anyhow. And reallocate said funds. Everybody exhale, though. We're going to be signing new offensive linemen. We're going to be bringing in people from the portal. Just because you haven't heard about it on a Friday, the portal opens on Monday. You couldn't have heard about a player that's coming in to sign with Florida State out of the portal just yet. That announcement will happen once they are entered into the portal.
Right. There is like this legal tampering-esque period where the kids announce their intentions to enter the portal.
Right. Yeah. Well, we just got done saying one that Jackson West will do so.
Right.
Yeah, you get it out there. You let it be known. You let people, hey.
No, I can't text you yet. This is a text that's not that text.
Just want you to know.
This is my number.
Soon enough, I'll be available. Mike talked as if he's expecting quite a few kids from Florida State's roster to enter the portal. That's what I gleaned from what he answered Ira's question as, right? He used it as a fiery speech again. I'm tired of those, but
yeah, especially because fire.
Well, I'm just like, hey man, you can say all the things and you went 2 and 10. Anyhow, the point would be, I don't need any more inspirational speeches. I get it. He's convicted. I got it. But what I would say is
you can't stand him.
No, I like Mike a lot. I'm rooting for Mike. I mean, stop that. But I just don't need any more rally the troop speeches after a 2 and 10 season. Let's just show and prove, my man. But here's the thing. I do get that.
Let the medics do their job. Medics.
I do think that if the approach, if what we saw was a peek behind the curtain of the approach being a much more direct, focused, intense, and let's be honest, transparent conversation between player and coach, then so be it. It needs to be there. You don't need to cajole people anymore. You don't need to massage situations anymore. Hey, man, this is the second time I've caught you on film not exactly practicing hard and or playing hard in a game. There won't be a third. This is like, come on, man. That's what this has to be. So good. I'm glad a 2 and 10 season woke his ass up to the idea that there are kids that don't need to be here and that will be told they don't need to be here. And I think he understands that there are plenty of kids who would have liked to have stayed here, but don't feel well coached and decided to leave. That too is true. And that's fine. The sooner we learn those names on both sides of it, the better off we'll all be. I'm excited for that on Monday. I'd like to know who's coming and going for. It informs who we go after. And
yes. How many we go after at what position? Because I would think we're going after anything that moves right now. It's an improvement. Uh-oh. RC? What's RC seeing?
Yeah, I'm just getting an update. I'm really, really hoping that we I was. I'm working it.
For those of you in the car going, what's he laughing about? It's a lower third that says RCJC working those phones for you.
Yeah, I am right now,
You
actually.
wrap up and touch it.
Yeah, I'm doing all I can. By the way, I ordered, so you see that one? The Bucks case.
It's a Buccaneers case for those of you driving in the car.
It's a Buccaneers case for my phone, but I got another one, Tom, for the Lightning.
Oh, very
a
nice.
really nice one for the Lightning. And I got another one for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I got another one for the Florida State Seminoles. So I have, the whole family is repping one of my favorite teams. I'm like, here you go, son. Here's your Pittsburgh Pirates phone case. Why? What, Dad? Put it on. Put it on your phone. I bought you that phone.
So what did Mike Norvell tell you?
That's funny. He smiles. Dude, no one will mind Tom chatting with us, so you can do your thing, Jeff. I'm trying. Hey, when we go to break, I'll continue to try to gather some more information. I will tell you this, though. It doesn't appear that we're going to know anything about the offensive line coach today. So just...
I would hope not. I'd be pissed. I would be mad if we learned today in the early signing period. Even if you had him, don't do it. Poor optics. Wait.
Scheffler is 7 under through 9 today? Did you see Scheffler with the jokes yesterday at the Days?
It was the other day, talking about money
2 days
and
ago,
the
2
Ryder
days ago.
Cup. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Next thing you know, he'll be opening a beer.
I don't doubt it. I kind of think behind the scenes he might be all right. That made me laugh because the reporter was being ridiculous. Well, saw you talking with Tiger on the putting green. What were you guys joking about? Money. He feels like he hasn't made enough money in his life, and I was griping about not getting paid for the Ryder Cup. That was so good. And he's deadpan. I was like, there you go. Got a little something to you. It was good. He shouldn't have given it away with the smile afterwards, though. He should have just stayed on it.
Stayed in character?
Stayed in character.
That would have been sick.
That would have been really, really well done. Because they all would have been like, well, I don't know.
Yes, his persona is such that you wouldn't know. He's kind of aloof at times.
Is he? Yeah, I don't know.
What does Meredith think about this?
That's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. I got to bounce back. I lost 3 last week to Mama. I'm here to avenge that in the next segment. Weird slate of games. You got 6 buys this week, Tom? 6.
These bye weeks take too long. Could you imagine if you had your bye week in December?
It's kind of weird to have 6 bye weeks this late. It doesn't make for good scheduling. And I told you there's 11 4-win teams in the league right now. So between the buys and the 11 4-win teams, you got some tough ones to digest. You got some games where you're like, Jacksonville, I think, plays Tennessee, for example.
Is Mama going to break the recruiting news at 2:30? Is she going to be the one?
She'll be on the air when we break the recruiting news, and she'll get to celebrate maybe that moment, right? It'll be great. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hi, this is Alex from Farmers. Are you looking for that hard-to-find person on your Christmas list? At Farmers, we are loaded down with one-of-a-kind items. Vintage guitars, pre-owned tools, electronics. Did you know we carry Louis Vuitton purses, bags, and wallets? Farmers has a large selection of new and pre-owned firearms. And don't forget about our large selection of gold and silver jewelry, all discounted at 50% off. At Farmers, we make your dollars go further. Shop early for the best selection, and don't forget to ask about our great layaway plan. Farmers Pawn, 2 times more than you might expect, with 2 great locations. This is Alex from Farmers. We've been buying gold and silver jewelry, fine watches, and other collectibles for over 45 years. But did you know Farmers buys and sells gold and silver coins, bars, and bullion? Don't get scammed online or pay high shipping and handling fees. Call or stop by Farmers for a quick and easy quote. No matter if you're new to investing in bullion or have been collecting a lifetime, Farmers is your local source for buying, selling gold and silver coins and bullion. Farmers, more than you might expect, with 2 great locations.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Searching for the best place to host an event for your friends and family? The Golf Club at Summerbrook is more than just a place for a round of golf. It's also one of the best choices for hosting and celebrating the most special days in your life. From rehearsal dinners and baby showers to corporate banquets and kids' birthday parties, you'll receive amazing personal service and attention to every detail when you choose the Golf Club at Summerbrook. Find out how affordable it can be and call us today at 850-894-GOLF. That's 850-894-GOLF.
Honey, I'm home.
We're in here, honey.
So why are all my friends here?
Have a seat, Dave. We need to talk about your problem.
Problem? I don't have a problem.
Dave, you do have a problem. A problem with your grill. Here's some pamphlets from Hearth and Patio. They are waiting for your call to help you upgrade your grill.
If you or someone you know needs a grilling intervention, call Hearth and Patio today at 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282 or hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Mama will be along here in a few seconds, and we'll get it done. Good job, Troy Knoll. I ordered a Doak Stadium seat last week. Can't wait. Good. We've got one in the other office over here. We got the case back here behind me with the brick. There. And, well, the brick's not in it, but that's what the case looks like if you get the brick. And then up there, that picture that you guys cannot see where the fire glistens is of Peter Warwick, and it's got a piece of the brick there, and it's signed by Peter Warwick. Jack, I do, but I am not going to be able to get into those just yet. That is really, really funny. I give you credit. All right. I see she's on board, ready to gloat probably. After the sweepage last week, Falcons choking it away. Cue it up, Tommy. Let's do this thing.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama. Love you. And I'm happy you're here, but I'm not happy with your efforts last week.
I'm telling you what, I had a gangbuster of a week. I'm telling you what, I didn't miss a game. I don't know that that's ever happened in all of our years of doing the pool and on air and everything. I don't think there's ever been a week where I haven't missed a game.
Maybe or maybe not. I know I've gone undefeated only once or twice in all the years that we've done this, and it is very rare because there's always an upset in the NFL. There's always some shocking result where you're like, really? The Jaguars beat the Patriots? That wouldn't be shocking now, but it would have been back in the day. Yeah, well, good for you, Mama. You were on fire. That means you're going to come crashing down to earth today.
I know. I'm telling you what, that's exactly right. I've had a few good weeks here recently in our pool, but not ever without losing one. But I do think that means I'm 4 up now.
You are 4 up. A lot of interesting football games to be played. We both had Detroit winning last night in a barn burner. They did.
I know. They did, barely.
Yeah, 34-31 as they continue to try to survive with a banged-up defense. Now we get into this is the part of the season where a lot of teams are bereft of hope and they get matched against one another, and it leads you to wonder, like, who's going to be watching this game? And here's the first of those. Jacksonville at Tennessee.
I know. Isn't that the truth? I know there are some games this week that are like, oh, Lord. And all those buys, I heard you talking to Tom about that. With 6 buys is a lot, isn't it?
It seems excessive. Seems a little excessive on my – yeah, I agree.
It's ridiculous. Okay. I took Tennessee.
Yeah, me too. It's suck fest in Nashville is what they got going on there. That's going to be awful. But I, too, took Tennessee. Jets at Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. Here we go. Come on, Minnesota. Get it done. Beat the Falcons, and the Bucs get the win over the Raiders and will be in first place. I assume you'll take the Vikings?
Yes, I am taking the Vikings. Absolutely, yes, and that would be a really great win for them. And yes, if we can get it done, I'm telling you, I was worried about us last week with that North Carolina. I was like, oh my God, I thought we were going to lose, but anyway, we didn't.
They go by the Carolina Panthers, Mom.
I know. But, but anyway, listen, I about lost my mind in that game. I thought I was going to have I said, I don't know if I can live through the rest of these last 5 games or whatever. It was crazy.
It was. The Saints are at the Giants, another stink fest here.
I know. God, there are some. I didn't realize how bad some of these games were. I took New Orleans. I don't know exactly why, but it's just they maybe suck a little less than the Giants. I don't know, though.
Yeah, I too took the Saints for that reason. I think I may have said those words out loud. Well, the Saints suck a little less than the Giants. All right, we've got, speaking of, Carolina at Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
You think? Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that could be good, but and I know Jameis. God bless Jameis. Like, what is he? He throws 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Is that what that's about?
I think it was 4 and 2. It was 4 and 2.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, bless his heart. He has like a record thing and then still. I took Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh too. Here's the deal. I think Cleveland's won the last 2 against Pittsburgh. And the other thing about it is that Pittsburgh struggles with Cleveland because they can't block them. They struggle every year. You know, this is it's a tough test. But Pittsburgh's the better team, and we're both going to take them. We're both going to take the Bucs over the Raiders. We have our first chance, I think, to maybe have a debate. Seattle at Arizona.
Yeah, I took Seattle.
Damn it! I really thought you were going to take Arizona.
You know what? I like Arizona, but wasn't it last week where like they won the whole game and then they lost it at the end? I mean, I don't know. Arizona frustrates me, and I like Kyler Murray, but I took Seattle.
So last week they had the Vikings beat, of all things, and they lost 23-22 at the end. That's
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It was the week before that they lost to this Seattle team 16-6. I too am taking Seattle. It's a well-coached team. They're hanging in there. All right. Buffalo is at Los Angeles, flying across the country to take on the Rams.
I know it. I'm going to take Buffalo. I think Buffalo's kind of gotten their act together, and I know they're going across the country and everything, but I like the Rams. I do, but I'm taking Buffalo.
Well, I'd say they've more than gotten their act together, Mother. They've won 7 straight games. They have been together for some time. They're probably the best team in the AFC.
It seems like, though, they don't start out so good in some of these games, but then they do get their act together, and I think Josh Allen's playing really well.
I think he's going to win the MVP. He's been phenomenal this year. All right, Chicago is at San Francisco, another bad game.
Yeah, I'm taking San Fran. I don't know why exactly, but they're home, and maybe I know they've got poor McCaffrey. You know, if he had any luck at all, I mean, what a shame. I feel bad for him because I like him. But anyway, I took San Fran.
I too took San Fran. The Chargers at Kansas City. I think we're both going to take Kansas City. The thing of it is, I think we both agree it's probably going to be a close game.
I absolutely think it could be a really close game, and the Chargers could win. But I'm taking Kansas City.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is that we don't bet against Kansas City. Cincinnati at Dallas, sadly, is our Monday Night Football matchup.
Oh, man, that is a terrible game. Well, maybe not. I took Cincinnati. I'm not taking Dallas again, I don't think. I mean, I don't know, but I'm taking Cincinnati.
Well, son of a gun, we don't have a single game different this week.
Oh, well, that is a bummer.
Well, it's good for you.
Well, it is good for me. That's true. Well, I'll be darned. Well, I had no idea who you were picking. So, but yeah, there wasn't too many that we could have a major disagreement about this week. I don't think.
The only one is I should have taken, maybe for fun, I could have taken Arizona. Arizona's actually favored in the game. We're taking the road team as an underdog.
Oh, well, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, at least I'll hang on to my four-game lead for another week.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Love you, Mom.
I love you too. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That stinks. I can't force it. I mean,
no,
I could.
I'm glad you're honest about that stuff. You're not trying to force the action just to have some action.
I could have done so with Arizona because I flipped a coin this morning when I made that pick. But honestly, I think Seattle's a better coach team, and I kind of think they're going to win a squeaker. When Arizona wins, I'm going to be pissed. Suffice to say, I'm not betting on that game.
Yeah, 30-17 Arizona.
I don't have.
Damn it.
I know. I don't have any angles on that. Yeah, that's golly though. When I was talking about these games out loud, oof. I mean, if you rated these games 1-star to 5-star every week, 5-star being the best rating possible, you got a 5-star game last night. You let off the Thursday night slate. You said, there it is, should be great. And the reason that was great was because both teams got the extra rest before the Thursday night game. Normally you don't. Normally somebody's at a distinct disadvantage. The road team on a Thursday night usually screwed, but both those teams had extra rest, so they were fine, and we got the best versions of the two teams, and it came down to the wire. It was great, 34-31. But then when you get into this Sunday slate, geez, Jax, Tennessee, that's a 1-star game. Jets, Miami,
one.
No, you won't give them 2 because of tradition. No. All right. 1. Atlanta,
Minnesota. Tradition with the Jets.
Well, the Jets in Miami, they go back a long way, but yeah. Falcons, Minnesota. What would you give that?
That's a 3 or a 4. That's an important game.
It's an important game. 3. I'll give you 3. Saints Giants is a 1.
Ooh, yeah.
Carolina Philly
1.
Cleveland Pittsburgh because it's a rivalry and Cleveland's won 2
3.
straight.
See, that's where I put that at a 3, and Atlanta.
A 3
Atlanta, Minnesota a 4.
Wow.
That's division leader versus division hopeful. Best record in the NFC.
No, I'm talking about Cleveland Pittsburgh.
I know. I said I gave that a 3. That's because that's a 3.
Yeah.
I give Atlanta and Minnesota a 4.
Okay. The only reason I give Cleveland Steelers anything close to a 3 is Cleveland just beat them 2 weeks ago, 24-19, and it's a rivalry. What?
Just Cleveland Steelers is dangerously close to a different thing altogether.
Vegas Tampa Bay's a 1.
Yeah.
Seattle Arizona's a.
Hey, it is a Super Bowl rematch.
Yes, it is. Let's remind Las Vegas of it. Seattle at Arizona, 2. You feel like that's a 2 or a 3? It's a huge divisional matchup, Tom.
I think it's a 3 objectively, but my personal opinion, it's a 1.5.
Yeah, because you don't like watching either one of those teams.
I do not.
Who's the NFL team you like to watch the least?
Arizona.
It's
Arizona. Followed by Cincinnati.
Oh, no, Cincinnati's fun to watch.
I'm just talking about the feeling when all right, let's send it to Cincinnati.
You're like,
and I love the team. That team is fun to watch.
Well, they got one of the best offenses in all the NFL, yeah.
Don't kill me, Eric Angel. I like the team. Let's go to Cincinnati. And let's go to Arizona. There's no less inspiring view of the playing surface than the one in Arizona. It's kind of like an orangish hue. It looks like the old track room at Florida State where they did interviews for post-game.
Yeah.
You could almost hear the lights hissing.
You're on to something here that's funny, by the way. It's the phrase, let's go to ...
Yeah.
Let's go to Cincinnati, whether it is said by an NFL announcer or a friend, elicits the exact same response. Let's not go to Cincinnati. That's how that goes.
Well, that's kind of like in our division, let's go to Charlotte to see what's going on with the Panthers.
No.
Not interested.
I like Charlotte.
I was barely interested last week. Got to keep
Oh,
the game
come on. That was a great game.
Of course.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, we were awful.
Yeah.
But we found a way.
Yeah.
It's just they keep on cutting back to the stadium and
no, Bank of America doesn't do anything for me either, by the way. Now, you're right about that. When you go to Charlotte, you're like, that stadium's kind of cookie cutter. Now it's Lincoln Financial. No, that's not Lincoln. That's in Philadelphia.
Philly,
yeah, what's Carolina? Is it still Bank of America?
It's BOA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just funny. Like any phrasing. Now let's go to Minnesota. You're like, I'll go to Minnesota. I'll take it over to Minneapolis. I'll have a good time with that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know who I think that about every time? And I have, even in the years where they were great. When we go to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, get the hell up out of here.
You are correct.
No chance.
You are correct.
No reason. Why are we going to this sorry-ass stadium in the middle of New Jersey? Get out. No.
Agreed.
Doesn't do it. There's nothing to it. You're like, get it out of here. Get it off my screen.
There's nothing to it. You drive through that state. You're like,
well, there's a few places in Jersey that are fine, but
they've got some lovely golf courses.
Yeah, it's a Garden State. There's some pretty in Jersey.
You driving them through there?
I know. I've been to Jersey. I know. It's not ideal. I get depressed driving in New Jersey in the same way I get depressed driving in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, it's the North South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you go to Connecticut, awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Not Hartford, though. Hartford sucks.
That's true.
There you go.
I'm just highway driving.
Yeah.
Couldn't be better. Connecticut, outstanding. Jersey.
I think it was Central Time. We can't get an answer. I can't get an answer.
Might have been. Come on, Thailand.
Let's go. I'm tired. I've wrangled all I can wrangle. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A former Tallahassee church employee turned himself into the Leon County Detention Facility Wednesday after he was charged with sexual assault on a minor, according to officials at the Leon County Sheriff's Office in Morningside Church. Hunter Eubanks, 30 years old, is accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old churchgoer multiple times on church grounds. Morningside Church officials confirmed that Eubanks was a former employee. The 30-year-old played in the band and led musical performances. Law enforcement believes the alleged crimes happened at the church campus along Pedrick Road in Tallahassee while he worked there. The assaults allegedly happened between June and October, and they were reported to police on October 9th. Eubanks is facing charges of sexual assault on a minor, cruelty toward a child, aggravated battery on a child, as well as other charges. He has been released on bond. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 54. Northerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, 35. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, highs around 59. Daytime highs approaching 67. Sunday under mainly clear skies, 73 Monday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 54.
Oh, whoa! Check out Pinch a Penny. We're stocked to the rafters with Hot Spring Spas, a recognized leader. Imagine the fun of the holidays with warmth, relaxation, and lovely bubbles. Oh, it's 30 home spas for you to see right now. Affordable right now, too. Up to $2,000 off. Or special financing. Ask for details. Is the world stressing you out like that? Now, to assure these prices, Pinch a Penny, open 7 days a week on Career Road.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So, like, different breeds, like different kinds.
There's like families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch
or the Yeti, right?
Yeah,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And but
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Florida's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com multimedia network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Still no news. Still no news. Did you think that Mike was a little bit extra when talking about Kevin Sperry?
Yes, but I also, as I said when we talked about this earlier in the week, reviewing his huddle tape, looking at his film, there's some tools there, and again with
this offense,
just in general with the throws. I'm not saying that he's got a cannon for an arm, but the repertoire of throws and pocket presence, this looks like a much more polished 3-star than I expected to see when I saw that he was a 3-star designation. And then also, we do have some friends out there in the Central Time Zone that have been around him in his high school ranks when he played in Denton, Texas, and they said, for a 3-star, that's a nice get. You did well.
The thing about him, and the only reason he's a 3-star is he's not big. He's not tall.
Right.
If he were taller, he would be a 4 or 5-star player because he has all those other tools that you're talking about.
It's an impressive, it's like somebody who doesn't hit the ball very far, but they've got every facet of their game. Man, you put a wedge in their hand, 3-wood off the deck.
Yeah.
They can do it all.
Well, the thing I would say about that too, Tom, is, he went to Carl Albert High School, won a state championship, and threw for, over 2,500 yards, rushed for another 560-plus yards and 42 touchdowns. He was multifaceted. That is big-time high school football. No stranger to the lights. Transferring to Denton, Texas for his senior year, And, they were in the quarterfinals of the 6A state playoffs the last we checked, right? So big time football where you're under the lights and the pressure is great and he's excelled. Okay, I like that. I don't think you can always learn a lot about where a kid played high school football. I generally like to see if a kid flourished in like a 6A school as opposed to a 2A school, obviously. And I'm biased that way. But like I look at the bigger schools that take on the bigger competition. And if you're kicking ass down in Miami, okay, means a little bit more than if you're lighting it up out in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. But yeah.
Well, there's some clips of Tylon Lee, who will be deciding at some point this afternoon between Ole Miss and Florida State.
We can only hope.
Where at 6'5", 240 plus pounds, he's going against 1A competition, and it's ridiculous. It's funny, and there are some clips in his senior season mashup where he's playing like-sized people. But for many of the clips, like, oh, come on,
the
man.
poor kid.
That old lineman's $175. What are we doing?
We had an offensive lineman at Lakewood named Cozy. We called him Cozy. And he was a tough kid. I mean, a tough kid and a biggin. He was our biggest offensive lineman. And he would take on all comers. And I remember thinking, I saw one time we played a team, I can't remember where they were from, but they had a huge nose tackle that was going to be a Division I player. And my coach was saying to Cozy, it's going to be on you, big man. And I was watching that tape thinking, ooh, I don't know, Coz. And I didn't say it, but I was thinking, Coz, this is going to be a toughie. And I could hear their pads popping that whole game. And they went to war. And Cozy hung in there. And Cozy was 300 pounds. And this guy was bigger than 300 pounds. And I remember thinking, what do these other kids do? Like, what? There are teams in our district that have 162-pound right guards and stuff. Like, what are you going to do against that mountain of a man? So when you're talking about that guy, and it's funny.
So you guys played against Bruce Smith when you were in high school?
No, we did not play against Bruce Smith.
Okay.
When did Bruce retire? I get how you're trying to make fun of me, but when did
late 90s, I think. Because he was in Little Giants, and he was still a player in Little Giants, and that came out in the early 90s. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a nose tackle. It might have been for Northeast. I can't remember, but yeah.
Looks like 1998 was his last year, unless he played after making the Pro Bowl, but I would think. Oh, excuse me. No, he played for plenty of years after the Pro Bowl. 2003. He played from 1985 to 2003.
Built like a brick, you know what?
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
Nobody looked like him.
Brother, he had 9 sacks in 2002.
Yeah, he was still doing it. He was in perfect condition. And, yeah, 2002 surprises me. Every once in a while, by the way, do you remember, were you around for Dexter Manley?
No, but that's a fantastic name.
So back then, the Washington Redskins, as they were known, had Charles Mann and Dexter Manley, and those were their two defensive ends. You don't remember them?
No.
God, I'm getting old.
The men.
I thought for sure you would remember them. Dexter Manley by the way, Dexter Manley ended up playing for the Bucs very briefly and got in trouble when he was in Tampa and called Tampa the seediest city he'd ever lived in.
He's ahead of his time.
But yeah, Dexter Manley was a beast of a player and was a guy that I ended up feeling very, very bad for because he had to hold a press conference, Tom. I want to say he played at Auburn. He had to hold a press conference in which he admitted he couldn't read.
Oh, no.
And it was the saddest press conference I've ever seen. I know now why you didn't remember Dexter Manley, because he's got his start in his career in 1981 with Washington, and you weren't born. But I remember him well because he was a monster, and he was a menace. But yeah, he ended up having to admit that he didn't know how to read he was outed somehow, and he held this press conference, and in the middle of the press conference, he started weeping because he was so embarrassed. And he's a mountain of a man. And it's the first time I think I, as a kid, ever cried watching a press conference, was that I felt awful for him. I mean, this prideful guy, and having to admit that, it was rough. He once said, by the way, that by the time he got to play for Phoenix, it was Phoenix back then, and Tampa, it was the first time that he knew the plays because it was the first time he could ever read the playbook.
Oh, my God.
But they passed him while he was in college. I mean, that is ruthless.
That would never happen now. Never.
He got busted for cocaine, by the way. He was suspended by the NFL. I remember Pete Rozelle suspended him. He was released by Washington, picked up by the Phoenix Cardinals. He kind of kept it together for a while, got traded to the Bucks. Tampa was not where you would want to trade Dexter Manley. He have a cocaine problem, Manley family, and got popped again, had a little bit of trouble there. He ended up going and playing the Canadian League, but he had a huge scar in his head that went down, and I'll never forget that press conference where he started crying, and he was admitting to everybody that he did not know how to read. You should go watch that one, Tom. It's a toughie.
Well, I should. It's a little bit lighter of a subject than death. It's just about embarrassment. I'm seeing that Bruce Smith, I was just looking at all of his bylines in his career. He obviously is the NFL all-time sack leader. He's the only player in history to get to 200 in his career. Reggie White came so close at 198. The next closest after that, you have any idea who it is?
Third most sacks?
Third most sacks in history.
Modern era? Has to be, right?
It's all time, I think.
Well, but you remember, they didn't always, back in the day, they didn't count sack as a stat.
So it has become a stat.
Yeah.
Kevin Green.
Carolina and the Rams as well.
Yeah, well, Julius Peppers, another Panther who moved around.
Julius Peppers played forever.
159.5. But Bruce Smith, what a monster. At age 37, 10 sacks, 38, 5, 39, 9. And then his final season at 40 years old, 5 sacks in 8 starts. He started 8 games.
I am not going to get this answer. You're going to have to tune into Warchant. I can't keep looking at this. I can't. The show is ruined. I keep thinking we're going to get an answer. I was told to hold on. Didn't happen.
You see what's going on in Stillwater? It's a standoff. Mike Gundy is being asked to take a pay cut.
He will not.
Yeah, that's what's going on right now. He's telling people, this is Pete Thamel's report, quote, he's telling people they have to come to him and ask them to take a restructured contract, which is expected to include a pay cut, but they have yet to provide him with any details. So
this is going to be
public standoff.
This is going to be their way to fire him. We do Coach Speak, and this week, by the way, Coach Speak is being recorded on Sunday. We had some equipment issues, but it'll be recorded on Sunday. And each week, Gundy is featured on Coach Speak. It seems like each week. And the thing that I would tell you, Tom, is the more that I hear him talk, the more off the rails he is, and the less concerned he is with anybody of an authoritative bent at Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. He feels as if he's untouchable. He resented and called out the fans who were concerned about their 3-win season. Clearly, they quit on him at the end of the year. It was, 52-0, whatever it was, against Colorado. So, he basically called those fans cowards for having the gall to question what kind of coach he is these days, as opposed to what he was just a few short years ago. Because, he feels as if they're spoiled with all the winning he's provided them. I mean, it's a PR nightmare if you're his agent.
So what Oklahoma State's positioning to do is give him a pay cut, repurpose the dollars for NIL. And if he says no, they're going to fire him. That's per.
Well, his agent will tell him, don't take the deal and, get your money. He's made $1 gazillion at Oklahoma State. It never sounds like he enjoys the job anymore. I'll say this for Mike. 2-10, as bad a season as you could ever think to have. At no point did I think he lost a love for the game. I think numerous times he looked shell-shocked. Numerous times he looked embarrassed. Numerous times he seemed appalled by what he was witnessing. But I never saw anything from him that suggested he doesn't care. Watching Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy this year, and they get their doors blown off all the time. And he's just like, that's a tough one this week. I'm like, you don't care. You don't care at all. So there's a big difference. I don't know. It's just you got to know when a guy's decided to call it a day. I think Oklahoma State's administration was looking at a guy that has decided to call it a day, and they moved on. What we did do today, for purposes of having to do a bunch of other stuff regarding recruiting, is the third hour is coming up. It's recorded. I can't break in and tell you in hour 3 whether or not we got the kid.
Warchant TV can.
Warchant TV and absolutely can and will.
Check out information. If we get good news, you will have instant reaction from Warchant TV.
You will know the second that the announcement is made, if in fact he's going to Florida State. Tune into Warchant TV because there is a video coming your way. We are ready for it. We will be good to go. Tom Lang anchoring that thing, ready to roll.
How do you know that?
You anchor a lot of things. But until that time, it's I was hoping we'd know. I was hoping we'd have an idea. We do not. How would the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm make Mike Gundy look good? Tell him to shut up. Stop talking, dumbass. Every time you talk, you say something absurd. You're killing me. I got no chance to help you. Hour number 3 forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Is your go-to premier market for the holidays. Social Kitchen has premium meats, homemade sides, prepared meals, and custom charcuterie boards for all of your holiday hosting. Headed to a holiday party? Stop by and grab dips, spreads, and other prepared items for the entire party. Located off Cary Forest next to Ology, Social Kitchen has everything you need this holiday season. Go to socialkitchentlh.com or drop in to see what Social Kitchen has fresh and ready for you today.
Holiday shopping is easy this year. Just visit any Tallulah store and you'll find endless stocking stuffer ideas like vape pens, gummies, chocolates, topical creams, THC treats, and so much more. Treat someone with a gift certificate to one of our state-of-the-art weightless float pods or a night out at Tallulah's Kava Bar for those looking for an alcohol alternative. Treats for under the tree and stuffing for stockings. You'll find endless gift ideas at Tallulah this holiday season. Find a location near you at TallulahSmokes.com. TallulahSmokes.com.
Hey, be careful up there. I know you want the best Christmas light display on the block, but I don't want you to hurt your back again.
Almost done. Just one more.
Oh no, I knew it. I'm calling